How's it going, guys? Welcome back for some more Guild Wars 2. So I've been playing this for just over a year now, and I just wanted to make a video about my experience playing this awesome MMO. So how I've found it so far. It's a lot different to what I'm used to, not a rush to get to Endgame. I treated it like a single player RPG at the start. I was told I shouldn't rush to level 80. So just chilling out, completing the renown hearts and events around the map to level up and progress my personal story. Also, exploring the points of interest and vista points around the map to completion and get extra rewards. Dungeons. When dungeons were available to me, I signed up and I had a blast fighting through enemies and uncovering the story about the heroes group, Destiny's Edge. Not many people sign up to dungeons, especially the last two. Though, once I got to level 80, I discovered fractals. Fractals are like dungeons without the story mode. One of my favourite things to do in MMOs are instances, like dungeons in WoW or ESO. This is Guild Wars 2 version of it. I like the progression system with agony. The more of these agony resistant items that you need to progress and tackle harder versions of the fractals. The harder the fractal, the better the reward for completing them. Gameplay, weapon skills. The skills and keybinds were something to get used to. You can't move your weapon skills around. They're set in a fixed position, which I didn't like at the start, but I got used to it. The utility skills, on the other hand, you can change, except for your healing and elite skill. You can mix and match them wherever you want. The weapon swap feature I was used to from playing ESO. After trying out a few weapons to see how they felt, some clicked for me, some I didn't like, just like most games. Each to their own, really. Guild Wars 2 plays a bit different than other MMOs. Not the typical trinity of tank, DPS and healer. There are a lot of different ways to build a character, from stats on gear to trait lines, which gives you a lot of freedom. After leveling up a bit, I gained access to traits. Traits are like boosts to different abilities or skills that drastically improve your character. You get a total of 5 trait trees, 8 if you have Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire and End of Dragons, but only 3 can be active at a time. In each trait, there are 3 fixed and 9 that you can choose from, but only 1 out of the 3 in each tier. Then there are the elite specs, where you need either the Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, or End of Dragons expansions to unlock a trait linked to that expansion. Massive game changer. They are worth getting. They can boost your damage, healing, or grant more boons. Story. I started my journey, enjoying the story and events, taking in the sights along the way, learning about the Sylvari race through the Sylvari story, from the choices I made during the character customization. After finishing the first 3 story chapters, I then got to choose a faction. I chose the Order of Whispers, where it opened up significant characters and a great story arc, which had emotions running high. After chapter 6, it was time to take the fight to the big bad, where we finish up the core story. This built tension and excitement, damaging the Risen in tactical ways, arriving at the gates of Ara for the final fight, which is a very memorable experience, but not as epic as I hoped. The reveal was jaw-dropping final boss, but the fight itself needed a bit more zazz, instead of just press the fire button. Living World Season 1 and 2. After experiencing the core story, I had access to Living World Season 1, which free-to-play players have access to. The combat got a lot more challenging. The story fights felt like they were more in-depth, more risky, going all in, guns blazing. The big boss encounters throughout the season were really well orchestrated. Then there's the story, and holy, this storytelling is amazing. The story arc was so good. The new characters that were introduced and the villain, oh yes, the villain, is one of my favourite characters in this world. She was very well written. Sort of sad to see her go. After the last confrontation with the villain, we find out her plan is to wake up the Elder Dragon, which brings us to Season 2. We find some strange new characters popping up across Tyria. The Zephyrites, crash landing into Drytop, pushing to claim a forward base in the Silver Wastes, and taking a peek into the history of the Sylvari. There is a lot going on in this season, and it is all worth it. It sets up the story really well leading into Heart of Thorns. I enjoyed seeing the Sylvari getting introduced into the world. A lot of jaw-dropping moments that left me wanting more. I strongly recommend getting your hands on this season if you can. It is an awesome story arc, setting up for my favourite expansion, the Heart of Thorns. Heart of Thorns. Everything we experienced in Living World Season 1 and 2, the huge build-up, the events that were set in motion has led to this. Choosing a Sylvaria as my character had unique dialogue running through the expansion, which is really good to see. Learning the history of the Sylvari and their culture felt like there was a lot more hanging on the line. It felt like I was in enemy territory trying to survive. With time running out and emotions running high, the final boss of the jungle was in our crosshairs. Rescuing prisoners and keeping my mind intact, it felt like it was all or nothing and we can't lose. We get to unlock the glider and that opens up exploration all across Tyria. Massive game changer to gravity. Combat felt extremely difficult. You can't switch off and mash the keys like some fights. And the champions were so challenging. Very difficult to solo them, but extremely rewarding when you come out on top. Heart of Thorns is my favorite expansion so far. The meta events are really fun and are my go-to when I log on. Living World Season 3. Coming off the victory of the Elder Dragon, I was still processing what had happened and didn't want the expansion to end, but I had to see what happens next. Going through the story has been so great. The writing has just gotten better and better. We get to see 5 more places across Tyria where it has some great farming routes. Make some good gold. Also, this is where I found out that enemies will follow you everywhere. There's no escaping them. Going through the story, it has some huge reveals, epic encounters, and a few twists that was really awesome to experience. Path of Fire. After seeing what the last expansion had to offer with story, events, and a glider, I was pretty excited to see how it would unfold. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. Unlocking the mounts that are used in different scenarios was a huge high point. Once you unlock a new one, the world seems to greatly open up. New places to explore, a faster way to travel on land and water. The story arc was so good. From arriving in the Crystal Desert and confronting the Forge for the first time, to racing to stop the big bad. The boss fight at the end was very memorable. The mechanics of the battle were great and felt everything was on the line. Such a great end to the Path of Fire expansion. Living World Season 4. With the looming terror overshadowing the land, we now find ourselves another threat we need to deal with. Wow, this story arc was the best yet. From the Elder Dragon threat looming to the forces of Joko threatening all of Tyria. Holy. And one of our allies, I think everyone that has played Season 4 knows this, but the emotions ran high. Very high for me. I was actually speechless at some points and I just, well. Anyway, if you ever have the chance to experience all of the Living World seasons, Season 4 is one of the best, well-written little X-Packs. It was so good. Just the story in it. There was so much going on. The characters changed. Anyway, I just come off it and it's just, whoa. It's really good. A lot of new events and metas also that have a lot of good potential farming gold and materials. So it's a really good one to play all the metas. A lot of people still play them, so good to get into. World bosses. When I don't really know what to do and try to think of what achievements or collections I could do next, joining a world boss train is a go-to for me. They're all great in some way of loot while figuring out what I should do next. Massive enemies that look awesome and have some achievements tied to them too. Meta events. Events are fun, but meta events are awesome. Heaps of players working together toward a goal. They can have multiple commanders, each leading a squad to complete an objective that helps further the event. My favourite one at the moment would be Dragon Stand, where there are 3 commanders pushing down 3 different lanes completing objectives and meet up at the end for the boss fight. And I always like doing this one. Dungeons. Every now and then I like to have a look in the dungeon tabs to see if anyone needs help or more people. I have always liked to do dungeons. It was my favourite thing to do when I used to play WoW many years ago, even in ESO. I would always queue up as much as I could. I read that players don't really run dungeons anymore, but you do seem to find the occasional group. I farmed them as much as I could on my way to level 80. When I hit 80, I could buy some exotic gear, exotic weapons and armor to gear up and hopefully tackle some endgame activities. Fractals. Fractals are pretty much endgame dungeons for Guild Wars 2. where you can get Ascended gear, which is the highest stat gear you can get. I was also very happy to discover a lot of players still run them, and usually don't have to wait too long. Fractals have 4 tiers of difficulty. Tier 1 is the easiest, increasing the difficulty through the tiers to tier 4. I like to run fractals. You get some good loot from opening the fractal encryption chests you get at the end of the fractal. It's a great way to get a feel for some enemy encounters and boss mechanics as well, and also a good way to make gold. PvP. Then there's the competitive side with PvP and world versus world. Let's start with PvP. I was very hesitant to sign up for a PvP, but I looked up a build, used it as a foundation, and added my tweaks to it. I was ready. Well, I thought I was ready. I really like how PvP works. It's to do with skill. No one gets better gear than anyone else. Pretty much a level playing field. This is where the toxicity comes out. Just like in all competitive games, and just like in those games, just ignore it. Just whatever, mate. Just have fun. I've been on both sides of some one-sided matches and even had some close games. All in all, it's a pretty fun experience. World versus world. As for world versus world, it's a bit of a mix between PvE and PvP. The goal for this game mode is to capture points around the map and hold them, while 2 other teams are doing the same thing. You have the ability to build siege weapons and break down walls and gates to take heavily fortified points, and some pretty massive battles can take place. Massive keeps and fortresses, and 3 teams trying to claim them as their own. Guild Wars 2 content creators. If you're ever stuck on Guild Wars 2, there's a bunch of great content creators that cover everything Guild Wars, from Loranity, Muck Luck, the Mighty Teapot, and some new up-and-comers like Sylvari Reaper, who has actually taken YouTube by storm in the last couple of months, which is great to see. Good to give them a bit of support too. And also Sirma Gaming. Very awesome to see more and more people covering this awesome game. So they have builds, guides, and general help with everything Guild Wars 2. So be sure to go check them out as well. They've got a lot to offer. Anyway guys, that's my little review about Guild Wars 2 for now. I haven't gotten too far into the game. There's still a few expansions for me to actually complete. But all in all, I'm having a blast. I'm not going to go out and say, oh, buy the game, buy the game. Just try it for yourself. It's free. You can download it for free, either from ArenaNet itself or just Steam. Like, really, what have you got to lose? You're just going to try the game out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. No big whoop. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me ramble on. And yeah, I hope you guys check out the game and yeah, try it for yourself. All right, guys, that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the future for some more Guild Wars 2 or whatever else we do on this channel. All right, guys, thanks for listening and take care.